Very, very smooth. That's the voice of Tony Pantano. My next guest has been entertaining for decades. I recall seeing him many times at a venue down in Springvale Road, Springvale. That was probably 30 years ago. He's so popular that he must find it very difficult to find his way home overnight. He's always travelling. He's interstate. He's overseas. He's just come back from a cruise liner, entertaining there many, many, many people, and I can guarantee you they would have loved him. What's his success over those many, many decades? We're going to find out today. Tony Pantano, welcome into 97.7 FM.
Hello.
How are you, Tony?
Hello, Lee. How are you, mate? Listen to your show, 96.7. Love it. My lucky number, 7.
Yeah, 97.7. You're spot on, pal. Well, I'm not 97 yet, but I'm on the way.
We're around for 97 and healthy.
Well, that's exactly right. Tony, tell me about what is it behind your success? I mean, so I said before you've been around for decades, and you have.
I have.
Yeah,
my God.
It must be 40 decades now, surely 40 years.
Well, it has. It's been actually Showcase 70, Hector Crawford's Channel O. Showcase 70 that Gordon Boyd was on, and then Robert Flynn the following year. That's when I started.
Gee.
So that's going into 46 years ago. Hard to believe, but we're still around.
Well, we don't have those variety shows anymore, which is really a pity because it's not that launching pad.
It is a pity. It is a pity, Lee. We love those shows. Of course, I started on IMT with Graham Kennedy and Black and White days it was, 1969.
Yeah.
And there was a show called Kevin Dennis New Faces
That's
on
right.
Saturday morning.
Gee, you're going back now.
Oh, we are going back on a Saturday morning, and that's when I was starting off. Then I joined the band. I started doing the nightclubs, a place called Sergio's Rendezvous in St Kilda with the old St Moritz.
Oh, we went there many times. Gee, you bring back memories to me. Yeah.
Great, Earl's Court, and
that's right.
We Whiskey A Go-Go was around the other side of the road there. Look, they were great memories. And then I started the solo career through Showcase. And I haven't stopped since. I thought, we'll slow down soon. But no, the cruises are great because the passengers are my age and older, which is lovely. We're getting old together, you know.
Well, we were on the Princess Cruise to New Zealand back in November, and of course, many, many artists are getting on those ships and entertaining us. There's people like I'm 69. There's people on there my age and older, a couple younger, but not very many. And they had the entertainment designed for us and our age group, and that's so important. And that's what you're doing.
That's exactly what we're doing, Lee. And really, the club land, we had a lot of work on land, as you know, with the clubs. It's all gone on the ships. Ships is now our clubs. There's still a few in Sydney that we do. The occasional, South Sydney Juniors or Canterbury, or those are bigger clubs. But all the entertainers are now going on the ships, and you do your 1 or 2 nights, and the rest of the time you're a passenger. And then they rotate. They have many variety shows, like musicians, comedians, a dance group, a show, production shows. And I just did 9 days on the Pacific Aria, which is out of Sydney to Sydney, but we went to New Caledonia, Maori, Lissu, and Isle of Pines, a beautiful spot.
Beautiful spot, yes, I've been
there. And then we headed back. But I did 3 shows in 1 day, and then nothing. I was, as I said, we go on as passengers and come on as cargo.
Well, let me go back. Let me go back to the first question I asked you. What do you put your success down to?
I think, look, variety is the spice of life. I always said that. You've got to do a bit of everything. I'm lucky I've got the Italian background, so I've been doing a lot of the Italian clubs around Australia. Not just the weddings and the private parties, but there's some very big clubs like the Marconi Club in Sydney and the Italian Club in Perth and some in Adelaide, all over the place, you know. And that's what's kept me going. And look, I do material that everybody knows. Very rare we do original stuff because there's no exposure anymore, you know.
That's right.
It's all changed. So we go back and I still do the same recipe with the Neil Diamond, the Engelbert, the Tom Jones, Elvis Presley, stuff that everybody knows. And I think that's...
Well, that's the success story, isn't it? You're appealing to the audience because they know the songs, they can relate to the songs.
They relate to them, absolutely, and you get to join in. Audience participation is always good, and Look, I still enjoy it. I think it shows. People aren't silly anymore, and they can't get on and change station. At home with the remote, and I don't like that song. No,
That's
that's
right.
it.
But
it's a game of picking your audience, picking your material.
Tony, music has changed so much over the last couple of decades. I'm going to say for the kids, yes, I suppose they appreciate all this rap stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, and even some of the youngsters I talk to, because I do teach a little bit, and they will say to me that they enjoy music that they can understand the words of. And I think that's where we lose a lot today, that a lot of the words of music don't make sense. They're about divorce or whatever it happens to be. But you go back to the days when you're singing Tom Jones sort of material, and that those words mean something.
There was a story to it.
Yes.
The lyrics were important there. The melody was important. Now it's more of a sound thing, and it's repeating. And it worries me because what happens in the next generation, you know?
Well, that's right. And you're right, there's so much repetition. You can listen to a particular song, and even Taylor Swift, you can hear in one of her songs the repetition coming through time after time after time. And look, I'm a Taylor Swift fan, but there is so much repetition. And I just like the way that, look, even if you go to movies and whatever you're doing these days, how many soundtracks do we hear that have gone back to the 40s, 50s and 60s?
Absolutely. All the way back to 40s, 50s.
Absolutely.
50s and 60s,
So
the
it's...
Motown years.
It's never going to go. It's never going to go out.
No, that was good music. And rock and roll, I mean, we do all these dinner dances around, I've got a show coming up in July with a guy called Jack Gatto, who won the Ultimate Elvis competition in Perth.
The line dropped out there, Tony, as soon as you mentioned the word Gatto.
Oh, yeah, no relation.
No relation. Because I was asking whether he was Mick Gatto's brother. I interviewed Mick here at the studio here about 3 or 4 years ago, and his book came out. Hell of a nice man.
Actually, we were there for the launch of it. I think he sold 500 books in about an hour.
Well, look,
I've known him for many years.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of history there, but I mean to say he was such a lovely guy to talk to, and just like talking to you right now.
I call him a gentle giant. I know everybody's got a background and a black part of their life, but each to their own. He's always been a gentleman as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I saw that part of him too. Yeah, absolutely. A lovely man is what I would say. Yeah. So, Tony, I was going to mention to you, you're down at the RSL at Reservoir here in Victoria on the 11th of June. I see that's coming up. That's, I think, the Queen's birthday weekend.
No, that's 8th of June.
8th of June?
8th of May.
8th of May? Oh, you're down here next week after.
Mother's Day. Yeah, Mother's Day. I've got a strange weekend. I'm going to do Camp RSL on the 7th, which is a Mother's Day concert up in Sydney. Fly back for a show here at the Riverside in the Golf Club. And the next day was Reservoir. They just told me it's booked out, which is great.
That's wonderful,
I've been there for the last 5 or 6 years. A beautiful spot.
Now, I think you've got a dinner dance to be confirmed in Melbourne on the 13th of August, if my reading is correct. And
yes, that's got to be confirmed. That'll be later on in the 13th. I've got a feeling it's going to be at Melrose, though.
Okay.
Here in Tullamarine.
Right. Yep. That's a nice spot.
And that's where I am on the 11th of June. That's a fundraiser. That's all of it.
You're there on the 11th, right? Okay. And then where are you? The 21st. You've got an Italian sports club appearance down there too.
The 21st of. Oh gosh.
It's getting on to the year. That's all right.
What month is it talking?
I'm not sure. I didn't even write the month down. But I went on your site and researched all your dates, and I thought, how can this guy keep up with all of this?
Look, years ago we had to put it on radio, put it on TV, put it in newspapers. Now we press the button and it's up there.
It's all there, isn't it? It's wonderful. Tony, it's been great to catch up with you, pal.
You too, Lee. All the very best. Keep up the great work, mate, and let's keep good music alive.
That's exactly what it is. Thank you very, very much for your time, pal. And I'm sure you and I will cross paths again. And we're friends on Facebook too, so we'll keep in contact.
And happy Mother's Day to all the mums next week.
That's lovely. Thanks, Tony. Take care,
God bless you, mate.
Bye-bye to you.
See you, mate.
Tony Pantano, one of our great entertainers here in Melbourne.